Bonjour, bienvenue, c'est Jules Chenu. Dans cette vidéo, je vais vous présenter 3 personnes. Une personne qui va mourir probablement dans les 6 à 2 mois qui viennent. Une personne dont il lui reste 1 mois à vivre et une personne dont il lui reste 1 jour, quelques jours à vivre. Alors ça vient en réponse à un commentaire que j'ai reçu en juillet. Salut Jules, j'ai bien aimé ta vidéo Stratégie de Vie sur ta chaîne YouTube. Ce serait super intéressant d'avoir une seconde vidéo Stratégie de Vie, les erreurs à éviter qui te font perdre des années de vie, tes expériences, tes erreurs. Beaucoup d'humains immobilisent des années de vie dans des conneries, merci. Et voilà. Et alors il y a la stratégie de vie, hein. Il y a les choses à 5 ans, à 15 ans, voilà, à 20 ans, on fait des choix, ça évidemment je vais en parler, mais après il y a ce que j'appelle la tactique. C'est-à-dire ce qui se passe à 2-6 mois, ce qui se passe à 1 mois et ce qui se passe à 1 jour, ce qu'on fait aujourd'hui, et c'est ça qui compte le plus. Et là, c'est beaucoup plus une question d'attitude, et c'est beaucoup moins une question d'intelligence ou de compétence, quoi. C'est pas aussi un savoir. Il y a beaucoup de coachs de développement personnel qui disent oui, mais t'as juste à te dire qu'est-ce que tu ferais si tu devais mourir dans 1 mois, et tu te le racontes, et ça va influencer tes émotions, et après tu vas faire des trucs. Mais ce que je vois, c'est qu'il y a beaucoup de gens qui font pas ce qu'ils veulent, parce qu'en fait, déjà ils sont coincés, parce qu'en fait on commence la vie, et puis on sait pas trop qui on est, ce qu'on doit faire, et du coup ça prend du temps de foirer des carrières et de reprendre d'autres. Et ça c'est normal. Mais derrière, il y a des gens qui, dans ces changements de carrière, en fait, ils s'arrêtent. Et là, je pense que c'est pas mental, c'est pas leur dire ouais, choisis ce que tu dois faire si tu devais mourir dans 1 mois et tout. Non, en fait, les gens sont perdus. Et ce qui se passe, c'est qu'il faut qu'ils atteignent un certain niveau de souffrance pour pouvoir finalement trouver qui ils sont, s'épanouir, faire des belles choses. Et du coup, c'est pas un savoir, c'est pas mental, c'est une émotion. Et je fais cet artefact numérique, digital, cette vidéo, pour avoir comme un endroit où je et vous pouvez revenir quand ça va pas ou quand on est en doute. On peut revoir cette vidéo de manière à ce que ça trigger, ça déclenche des émotions qui vont permettre de se dire ah ouais, qu'est-ce qui est important dans la vie aujourd'hui, et pouvoir rebondir. Sachant que il y a 3 compétences majeures que je vois chez les gens qui vraiment font la différence. Le premier, c'est la capacité à dire non. Plus les gens ont une facilité à dire non sans se sentir mal, mieux ils ont des vies extraordinaires. La deuxième, c'est la capacité à dire je t'aime, à manifester de l'affection aux autres. Ça, c'est un des trucs majeurs. Je t'aime, la capacité à le dire, même si ça peut être gênant pour l'autre, ou voilà, ça peut être gênant pour soi, la capacité à le dire, ça ouvre une nouvelle perspective dans la vie. Et la troisième truc, c'est la capacité à avoir des discussions difficiles. Je pense que c'est un des facteurs de bonheur majeur, c'est qu'en fait, il y a des discussions difficiles qu'on devrait avoir, avec des gens qu'on aime ou non d'ailleurs, et en fait, on reporte ces discussions, et ce faisant, on s'enferme dans des choix de vie, on s'enferme dans des situations qui sont désavantageuses, voire qui sont très graves. Voilà, je voudrais vous rappeler aussi que dans ma génération, j'ai 35 ans, je vais vers mes 40, il y a un homme sur 3 qui aura le cancer, il y a une femme sur 2 qui aura le cancer. On va vers une dépopulation massive, donc revoir cette vidéo et vous remettre dans ces émotions de c'est pas éternel, ça va pas durer éternellement, pour vous permettre de savourer la lumière, de passer du temps avec les gens que vous aimez, de témoigner de l'affection aux gens que vous aimez, de chercher des carrières avec des émotions qui sont satisfaisantes. C'est très important. Et c'est pas secondaire. C'est pas éternel ce jeu, et voilà. Je vous laisse avec ces 3 vidéos. Donc on a une première personne qui va mourir dans les 2 à 6 mois à venir peut-être, une autre qui va mourir dans 1 mois, dans 35 jours, et la troisième qui va mourir aujourd'hui, qui va mourir dans quelques jours. Voilà. À bientôt.
This is, it almost feels like a blessing to have known this was a possibility 2 years ago. Because what are the options? I guess before all this, I just assumed I would probably die suddenly and unexpectedly. I wonder how I assume that's how most of us feel. We realize we're going to die sometime, and we just think, oh, maybe I'll get hit by a car or have a heart attack or something, out of the blue, which seemed comforting at the time. It's like, oh, that way I'm not dreading it if I knew it was coming. But since I knew this was a possibility 2 years ago when I was diagnosed, early 21, it gives you a chance to kind of roll all these things over in your mind and think through. It takes you down a bunch of little trails. I mean, everything from, wait, I need to cancel this subscription. What about my Netflix? What's going to happen then? What about my phone? Is it just going to be locked if no one knows my password? Or what do I do for canceling leases? What happens with all this stuff? And when do I have to stop working? And should I work as much as I can? And so you're just getting kind of the big mismatch of stuff, some of the things that run through, I would think, anyone's mind in this situation. And it feels so strange. Walking, just went on my hike this morning. It's just gorgeous out there. It's like 84 degrees, sunny. There's a light breeze blowing. The trees are beautiful. Hear the birds and every little thing just seems so intensely beautiful. And that is, I'm going to try not to get emotional here. That's the cool thing about cancer. And that's a book I want to write. That's the title for a book I want to write. I don't know if I'm going to have the time now, but it just peels off all the superficial stuff that we accumulate layers of it over our life. All the petty stuff, all the politics, all the squabbling, all the gossip, all the caring about how others think about us, and trying to dress in a good way and have the best car and be successful and have prestige. All these things that we end up caring about. Speaking for myself, we just accumulate these distractions, and it just peels them all away, and you're left with caring about people pretty much. And which I think I've always wanted to be more empathetic and more tender and more genuine and authentic. I've always tried to be, but it up until my life, up until this point, up until I'm supposed to be 55 on November 18. So my birthday's coming up. So that's my near-term goal, is to make it to my birthday feeling okay. And then we'll set more goals after that, obviously. But up until about 50 years old, I just had this unfinished, unsatisfied, unfulfilled feeling that was just always there in the background. It's no matter what kind of successes or great things that happened to me, or whatever no matter how much joy I had, there was always just this theme going on underneath that I was just not, you could call it the meaning of life. Why am I here? I just didn't feel like I really knew. I didn't feel like I was fully expressed as a person, as a Dan Bachman. I didn't feel like I was a fully formed person yet. And of course, the irony is that once I get this diagnosis, it radically realigns your priorities. It changes the way you think. It forces you to look in areas that you just didn't want to think about. The difficult thoughts, the things you're ashamed of, the things you regret. It makes you look at all these things. It also makes you feel everything more intensely. I'm looking out my office window. I see the trees blowing in the breeze. the grass fluttering. I mean, there are birds. I see deer walk by here sometimes. And outside it's so pleasant. And I mean, even little things, the mundane things, pumping gas, going to the grocery store, or taking a shower, or, petting my cat curled up on the couch, or, all those little things, they just take up so much more meaning in a way that makes life rich. It just makes it so, that unfinished feeling inside me has been gone. And even more completely gone, the kind of worse my trajectory has gone health-wise. And the irony of all this, if it's irony, is that I finally feel like I am in a place I'm in the best place I've ever been in my life. And now I don't have a chance to use it, I'm not even going to say it's unfair. I mean, obviously, we all die. We don't get a say in when or how. It just feels like a waste. I feel like I have a lot to give in various ways, friends, family, strangers, professionally with my musculoskeletal treatment approach, all these things. And then it's like, oh, nope, you are getting pulled from the game. So in a video game, it's like you just conquered the big boss, the toughest level in the game, and then it's game over. Instead of now I get to enjoy my accomplishments or give back the things that I have received. I don't get a chance to do that. And I would say my hunger and thirst for life is the highest it's ever been. Every second feels intense, not in an anxious way. It just feels like, I feel like it's so weird. It feels like I'll have memories whenever I do die. Hopefully it's a long time from now. But whenever I do die, it feels like I want to remember these moments when I'm dead. And of course, well, I mean, depending on your beliefs, that may or may not be possible. But it feels like I just want to remember this moment I'm in. I wish I could have gotten here sooner. But I'm really glad I'm here. Man, I don't know what this update this little talk has turned into, but I guess I just want to, impress on any of you watching that there's a lot more to life. You don't have to wait till you get to this spot. Just be intentional about what you want and what you want to value. It's so much richer, it's so much more rewarding. And again, we don't know. Again, depending on your beliefs, we don't have proof of an afterlife. I'm not counting on one. If there is one and it's good, awesome. I'm stoked. And my feelings on that may change, they may change. They say there are no atheists in foxholes, right? Because when everything's on the line, that's when you figure out how you really feel or what you're really willing to do. But I just hope that if there's anything, if there's anything that you can take away from my little story here, it's look for the real stuff in yourself and around you. And it's hard. It's especially hard right now. I would say the last 5 years, it's been crazy out in the world in lots of different ways. I mean, economically and socially, politically, all those things are just insane. And you feel like, I can see why it would feel like the world's just falling apart. But whether I live to see it or not, out of crisis and chaos come better things. And we've seen this before. I mean, just in the U.S., we've seen back in the 60s, we had assassinations. We had, the Vietnam War. We had Watergate. We had scandals. We had, Kent State shootings. We had We had, all kinds of race riots and burning down cities. We've had all that back in the 60s. Now, what came out of that? Well, we had the Summer of Love. We had civil rights. We had women's rights. We had lots of good things. We had the love era, right, that came afterwards. So if I understand that we're all very stressed and anxious and we feel like the world's falling apart. But that is a necessary thing that has to happen every so often during history. When we forget those lessons as a group of people, generations go by, we forget the lessons we learned, our grandparents learned, because we didn't experience it. So we repeat the same problems. So there are cycles. There's a great book called The Fourth Turning by Neil Howe that goes over this. It's fascinating. But anyway, be encouraged. I am personally excited to see what comes out the other side of our global neighborhood and society, just because the turmoil and the chaos has to happen before good things. I would love to see what that looks like. I may or may not, but likely you watching may. So try to keep positive. Look for the good things. Focus on the good things. Just focus on the good things. There's so much we can't control. Most of everything we cannot control. And for me, that's been a huge relief, actually. So as soon as I realize, why am I getting stressed about this injustice I saw, or this, these lies, or this hypocrisy, or this danger, harm, or violence, all these things, if I invest my feelings into them and care, let them work me up, it's for no good benefit, because I can't change those things. The only thing I have control of course, is just my own behavior, and that can start with your thoughts. It can start from identifying things that matter to you and focusing on them, and doing something about them every day. If you want to be more thoughtful, if you want to be a better partner or friend or brother, sister, father, mother, acquaintance, workmate, just start being one. It's contagious. It catches. Just think about the last time someone went out of their way to be kind to you, especially when they didn't have to be. Just think about that, how you felt. You can make anyone feel like that anytime you want. Just a smile, a friendly head nod if somebody or giving someone $1 who's homeless. I know we have all these. There's so much other weird social stigma attached to some of these things. But if you just look at pure kindness and strive for it, to be that way yourself, it catches on. And it doesn't have to be all of us figuring it out at once. I think if 10% of us in the planet just decided, we're going to just focus nothing on kindness and love and understanding and not letting people walk all over you, but make that our goal. I bet you we could change the world, just 10% of us.
So hopefully by Tuesday or Wednesday next week, we'll get started. Without any type of treatment, he gives me a month to live. And with treatment, he's looking at Christmas. He's hoping for better, but of course there's no way to know for sure. We're going to try, we're going to do everything we can. But as of right now, looking at a really short window. I know we've talked about it, and I know we've talked about mortality and all of those different things, but it's one thing to talk about it and another thing for it to be a reality, because holy shit, it's not a good feeling, and it's terrifying, and I don't want to be thinking about how little time I have left with my family and my friends. And I know I'm not supposed to apologize. Everyone tells me don't apologize, but it's really hard not to when I feel like I'm leaving all of these feelings and everything with everyone else, and it feels unfair to everyone else. It feels unfair to everyone. I love you all so much. I wish I had more I could say right now, but I really don't. And I'm hoping beyond hope we get lucky, and that there's more we can do, and that everything works out. But I don't know. I don't want to lose my kids. And I don't want to lose Josh. Or anyone else. That's all I got for you right now, and I'm really sorry. Once I wrap my head around this a little bit better, I will come back and say something else. But I don't got it right now. I really don't. So, I'm gonna end it as I always do. Be kind, make good choices. And I will do the same.
Hey, how you all doing? Hey, I'm just doing this short video. It's number 9, Journey's End. So you can guess what's coming from that. So I just wanted to do this short video just to let you know that maybe today, yesterday, day before, well, I actually passed away, so I'm no longer here. All right. I wanted to keep it pretty quiet, you know, just because we didn't know exactly how it was coming, when it was coming. The other thing was, it snuck up on us pretty quick. So I went from 2 weeks ago being able to go to the supermarket, walk around the shops with Kylie, with my wheelie walker, and changing to being quite sick in hospital, and then quite sick in bed like I am now. This is where I passed away, and being bedridden basically. It happened really quick, so got pneumonia on the lungs, or lung, my breathing getting worse, and parts of me, bits of me vital organs starting to fail. But other than that, believe it or not, it sounds pretty scary, but in actual fact it wasn't that scary at all. Okay, so that's what's happened. So what's going to happen now, of course, I'm not going to hold a funeral. Basically, I've gone for a real basic bare bones cremation, so I may already be cremated by the time this video goes public. Although if I pick up my urn, ooh, baby, here's my urn. It's actually quite light, so maybe I'm not in there just yet. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is, so this video is just to tell people that I've passed away. In a few days, as soon as I'm cremated, my Facebook page will be made, it'll be memorialized. So it'll be done by Kylie or my son Tegan, and they will memorialize my Facebook page for me. So, you know, you'll have an opportunity, if you want, to say goodbye. Comments section on this video or on my memorialized Facebook page. Okay. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. Another thing that'll happen, hopefully, I have talked to the canoe club. Hopefully they can take some of my ashes and spread them around the ocean out here at Perth, and you know, either at Ocean Reef or down Pinjarra. But I'm hoping they'll do that for me. So we have talked about it in the past anyway, some of the committee members. And then of course some of my ashes are going back to New Zealand, and speaking with my niece, we think we have permission to, well, that's to be confirmed, to put some of my ashes, just a little bit, with Mum and Dad down there at the cemetery in Invercargill. Okay, so that's what's going to happen beyond today. I'm not going to go into a lot here in regard to thanking lots of people, but I just want you all to know, thanks for sticking with me through my journey. Thanks, you know, for all those who have been part of my life, good or bad. You know, you take the good, take the bad, take the ugly. It's life, you know. So, thank you for being part of my life, ensuring your life with me, and hope I wasn't too much of a pain. Yeah. So, from here, I'll let you go, and hopefully we'll see you on with another short video on my memorialized Facebook page. Alright. Hooroo.